Many of you have the power to alter your financial destiny and turn into a truly remarkable billionaire. Additionally, we will be discussing the cost today. For those of you who are unaware, I have spent the last few days at Token 2049, and I believe that XRP will be doing well due to the amount of knowledge I have now obtained. All right, I went to the event today, and I have a lot to tell you about it. There are a lot of strange things going on at the moment. I just watched Eric Trump take the stage and deliver a speech. I witnessed Tron's founder take the stage and deliver a speech. Indeed, a significant portion of this will ultimately relate to XRP. By the end of 2025, I plan to update some of my earlier price projections, so be sure to keep an eye out for it. Additionally, be sure to pay attention to what I have in store for you all today. That will also enable you to profit to the fullest extent possible. Having said that, there is a lot of widespread use of cryptocurrencies. One fascinating thing I learned from Eric Trump today is that World Liberty Financial is making significant investments in worldwide decentralized applications to increase the availability of cryptocurrencies, particularly in developing countries. I'm referring to South America, Africa, and other developing nations where people are in dire need of escaping their governments. The extent to which Eric Trump opposes the banking system is another item that astounded me. He didn't keep anything back. I found it shocking that he made it clear to the world that the Trump administration has no tolerance for the financial sector, given this is something that Trump has essentially never stated. However, his son Eric made it quite evident today that he is free to say much more. Well, that's what global liberty aims to accomplish. Now, it is entirely up to you if you wish to fully commit to international liberty finance. It isn't something I enjoy. I will not be investing much in stable cryptocurrencies. I'm going all in on the blockchains and technologies like GOAD, technologies like XRPL, which will help make sure that more people have fair and equal access, which is obviously what I believe XRP is doing best. However, since adoption is the first piece of the puzzle, I do want to discuss it. Later on, we will discuss price activity and other exciting topics. As we can see, Morgan Stanley, a $1.3 trillion 0-cents asset manager, will be providing cryptocurrency trading to its E-Trade customers. That's absurd. All right. Indeed, it is impossible to understate, much like Morgan Stanley. Indeed, their assets total $1,300,000 0-cents, but the volume of transactions through their exchange is much higher. A $1.3 trillion 0-cents asset manager could simply very quickly generate tens of trillions of dollars in volume, particularly if they are creating a huge, internationally accessible e-trading platform. Currently, we're unsure of the specifics of what this will involve. That's a big news story though, all right? Additionally, an increasing number of banks will begin to follow suit. All right, we're discussing all of the biggest names in the business, including Bank of America and others. They are going to be doing this because they will fall behind if they don't. Furthermore, Eric Trump made this point extremely plain in his address tonight, and I wholeheartedly concur with him. Of course, geopolitics is also, we are all aware of how tariffs impact the markets, making them one of the most significant elements. We are all aware of how conflict impacts markets. You may not all be aware of this, but believe me when I say that it does. Additionally, a number of things are happening right now, chief among them the conclusion of the conflict in Ukraine. It's official. A mining transaction between the United States and Ukraine has been formally signed. The United States is essentially placed in the Ukrainian region as a result. There are active U.S. personnel in Ukraine, so if Russia invades Ukraine and tries to take the rare minerals that the U.S. is now going to be extracting from Ukraine, it is an act of war against the United States of America. Unless Russia has a death wish and wants to see the world burn, they would never do this. Thus, this is essentially it. I mean, it's not like the battle has officially ended. After this transaction is finalized, which it is, the majority of the United States sends personnel to establish facilities and begin mining these resources. It's almost finished, folks. This is the sole explanation for why Russia was initially motivated to start this conflict with Ukraine. The resources are what they desire. The farming is what they desire. They are looking for minerals, and Ukraine has many of them. Additionally, the conclusion of a conflict is fantastic news for markets. There have been a lot of post-war rallies, and it's beginning to seem, when you add in widespread institutional acceptance, excellent, excellent, excellent. Additionally, President Trump has stated that he will call with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Among all of this, this is the most dubious piece of news. We are all aware of the back and forth between the United States and China. China claims that they will not and communicate with Trump. Trump claims to be addressing Xi Jinping. We'll have to wait and see how China reacts, an extremely strange circumstance. In reality, no one knows whom to trust. However, we can still hold out hope that something will happen soon. The fact that Meta stock, Microsoft stock, and many others are continuously reporting earnings well above estimates is another intriguing aspect of all of this that I really need to touch on briefly. What does this mean now? Well, the economy is far more robust than expected. Many technology companies were priced out by the markets, who cited the fact that they just believed they would not have strong quarterly results. However, we are beginning to realize that is entirely incorrect. Their earnings are stronger than anticipated. They are making a lot of money, and everything is looking far better than anyone could have ever imagined or hoped for. He begins to tell a really interesting story when you combine what I showed you all here. Finally, I would like to summarize. President Trump is giving a speech to the Chinese president. A conflict has come to an end. We have a lot of asset managers there that offer clients trillions of dollars in cryptocurrency trading. Of course, at the same time, Eric Trump is making every effort to facilitate the widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies throughout the world. I want you all to understand things very well. XRP is preparing for yet another significant adoption curve. Although November was fantastic, this week will bring another curve. In Europe, interest rates decreased. Be aware that the markets are now receiving liquidity. The United States will shortly decrease interest rates. It's fantastic that inflation data expectations are still relatively low. Right now, everything appears to be going incredibly well from almost every angle, which is fantastic. This is precisely what we hope to witness. It goes without saying that the market still has a few distinct risk factors. Above all, I only want to mention that there is some uncertainty surrounding India and Pakistan, and that a confrontation between them might be on the horizon. We should thus be getting ready for that, which is sort of the black swan. India and Pakistan, two enormous nations with sizable populations, are